Shut up and sit down. And sit down.
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 360 Sports Show. I'm Andrew Pezzelli. He is Christian Lawber. Got a lot to get through. We're going to try and do it quick. Patriots play tonight on Monday Night Football, coming up at 8:15. We'll be breaking down that matchup for you, along with a couple of other news and notes items from the past week in sports. You can reach us anytime in the comment section of any of the live streams or by emailing us, the360sportshow@gmail.com. Christian, you're already laughing.
Yeah, Colin. That's why I'm laughing.
So already, Colin, in the comment section, are you gents ready for some dangerous dildo tossing weather? Yeah, I mean, hey, watch out. You have to, if you're in the stands tonight, head on a swivel. I'll say, I got the Matt Castle jersey hanging up behind me over here. It's been here for a while. I have not seen wind in a game like this, in a professional game. I've seen it at some college games recently, but in a NFL game, the wind like it's going to be tonight in Buffalo, 30 miles an hour sustained, gusts up, north of 45, maybe even 50 miles an hour. Flurries. Since Matt Castle's last game as a Patriot, which was that regular season finale in 2008 in Buffalo, where the wind, remember, they had to have like the crews come out and hold the goalposts straight, or attempt to, on extra points and field goals, as they were blowing sideways. I mean, extra points back when it was from the 2-yard line were getting blown sideways. It is going to be a factor tonight. The weather is going to be a factor. I'm excited. Obviously, I'm excited for the game itself, but when you see things like this, teams have to go and play in conditions like this, it adds a little extra juice to it.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't? What? Come on.
No.
You don't think it's... They don't have the sky cam tonight. There's literally infrastructure for the stadium cannot be used because of the weather. I find that I'm hyped up for that. You're a no.
I don't know. If it was snowing, I would say yeah. The wind I could do without, only because I feel like we're not going to see a real game. We're not going to get to see everything we would in a normal setting. Whereas, this is always going to be the tougher team and ground and pound and kick a field goal 50 yards to the left and hope it swings back right. This is the type of game that you would like, because it's kind of weird. But yeah, I'm not too engaged with the wind. But I still think it'll be hopefully a good game.
Who does the weather favor? If it does, at this extreme, does it favor anybody? Either team, Patriots or Bills?
I'm still not picking them, but I think it favors the Patriots. I mean, you look at the kicking situation, they have a weapon kind of this year. I mean, Nick Folk has been really, really good this year. It's obviously very different conditions tonight, but between that and the run game, I mean, the Bills, look, we say they can't run. I don't know if they can't run as much as they just don't do it for some reason.
Yeah.
We know the quarterback can move, and judging by last week, the Patriots couldn't stop the run. So they'll see it tonight. I don't think Josh Allen can go out there and throw 20 times, never mind 40. So
yeah,
it's going to be that kind of night where you throw maybe 10, 12 times. It's all screens. It's all flare outs. So I would say it favors the Patriots just because of the kicker and the run game. They have the 2 backs. And if you want to throw Bolden in there, sure. He's been pretty good this year. So I would say it favors them. I still don't like them to win the game. I just think Buffalo is going to be. Look, this is Buffalo's. I don't want to say Buffalo's season, because there's still 5 games left.
But it is.
There's still time. There's still time to go. I
But
mean,
but for them, they dropped to the 5 spot tonight, and then you'd also have lost a game to New England already. I mean, you go from Buffalo, you win this game, you've righted the ship, you're feeling good, the division is kind of, you're back in control of that. You lose tonight if you're Buffalo, now you're in a position where you're fighting for the playoffs after the start you had and the way people felt about them coming into the year. So this is a massive, I mean, the Patriots, if they lose this game, which you think they could, I certainly think it's plausible they do tonight too, they're kind of still situated well to regroup. They'll see Buffalo again. Their record in the AFC is so good that they're still going to be in a good spot to make the playoffs.
Yeah, this is Buffalo's schedule though. Okay, with the exception of one game in here, Tampa, right? But I could see them beating Carolina, Atlanta, and New York easily, and then they got to beat us again. So New England, it's obviously Buffalo holds serve here. I mean, I feel like the pressure is on Buffalo. Obviously, that goes without saying, just because they're in their home stadium here. And then they got another one coming to Foxborough. So they do have to hold serve here. I do think that. But also, if they lose this game, if they have a complete meltdown because they lose this game, I wouldn't be surprised. But I don't think they should, because they're not out of it yet. The Patriots they still got Indy and Buffalo again. So there's 2 losable games just like Buffalo. So
yeah,
it's not over either way. I still think the pressure's on Buffalo.
Yeah, I think Buffalo's got more to lose. Just from that, like, the Patriots are the boogeyman for them, and if they lose this game, not only are the Patriots the number 1 seed in the conference, but they'd be in the driver's seat for the division, and Buffalo would just be sitting there like, what has happened? What has happened?
I almost think this is a good night for the Bills, though, because Josh Allen isn't going to be baited into making mistakes, I don't think, based on the conditions.
You're not going to have the opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. So they're kind of forced to go away from what they do, which is put the ball in his hands 50 million times per game,
which hasn't necessarily helped them.
No, it hasn't. But I think they have to run, and whether that's Allen or the backs there, I just don't know how much they have. But I think there will be an opportunity for them to run.
Well, that's what I was going to say is, Allen running is, I think, the biggest threat. And I think that's where he has a chance to really shine tonight, is because in these sorts of conditions, trying to stop the run, the Patriots are going to have to put more people up front because you want to stop that first. You're going to play zone coverage, I think, because you play man coverage. Allen's going to be as a scrambler, and he's not afraid to take off. You play man coverage, and now he's out the back door, and he doesn't get touched for, you give up 30 yards on a QB, scramble. I think they're going to want to play zone, but I also think they want to put people in the box, and they're not afraid to just run Allen. This could be, you said old school? We could see some single wing tonight. It could just be a whole lot of Allen, sprint right. If a guy's open, throw it. If not, tuck it and run. And just a very ugly, old school, boring, simple offense for you,
If
Christian.
the Bills do throw in this game, I have a feeling Cole Beasley's going to touch the ball at least 12 times.
Oh, it's all underneath.
Some matter of fact. So it's got to be all over the middle, all underneath. If you go out in one direction or the other, and that ball blows just a little bit, it's getting picked off, or it's going sailing into the third row. You don't know, but this game is going to come down to, obviously, the kickers, and I have a feeling there's going to be some type of coaching here because it looks like one side of the field is going to be easier to kick on than the other based on the tunnel and everything like that. We already seen that in many stadiums, not just in Buffalo. But with the wind, I wouldn't be surprised if you see early timeouts if you have an opportunity to kick a field goal on that end, on one end as opposed to the other.
Yeah,
it's probably going to be low scoring, so you got to get points where you can.
Taking timeouts at the end of the first quarter. No. We want to go this way. I wouldn't be surprised either if we see if teams are able to get to the end zone tonight. A whole lot of going for 2. I mean, we'll get into what the Ravens did last night in this trend of going for 2 when maybe you don't have to and all that sort of stuff. But tonight is kind of one of those situations where we may not see a whole lot of extra points attempted. A 30-yard field, extra point in 40-mile-an-hour winds. The odds on that versus a play from the 2-yard line. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to see a lot of going for 2.
Yep. It's going to be an odd score, right? I think we can agree on that.
It's going to be funky. The one thing I think about, what I worry about and what we'll learn is with Tom Brady, the Patriots were never afraid to just stick with their game plan whatever the weather was. Hey, if this is a team that stops the run just because it's raining, we ain't going to just start running the ball because we're going to run into a brick wall. We'll still spread them out, and the trust was on Brady's shoulders to make those quick, decisive throws, and like you said, screen passes, little under routes, flare outs, swing routes, and get the ball in the playmaker's hands because the offense knows where it's going, the defense doesn't. Go look at the 59-0 game in 2009 versus the Titans, in a blizzard, as an example of something like that. Do the Patriots do that with Mac Jones tonight? And can he make those throws? Like you said, the opportunities aren't going to be there a lot. So if you're only passing the ball maybe 15, 16 times, you're going to have to be very efficient with those throws because if you can't, you're going to have to throw the ball somewhat because Buffalo will just load up and stop the run and say, hey, Mac Jones, your first time in inclement weather? Go ahead. Beat us.
Yeah.
Try. Let's see. So this is as much as an important game for Buffalo and for the Bills to maybe reestablish themselves. This is a show it to me game for Mac Jones, How does he handle the cold? Is he going to embrace, hey, it's bad weather? I saw David Andrews walking around with basically no shirt, that type of, it's a little bit meatheaded. It's like, dude, get warm. You it's okay. You can put on sleeves to play the game. But what is Mac Jones' mentality? We've loved everything we've seen from him. I don't think it's going to affect him in the cold. I couldn't, people are trying to hype that up. Well, he played in Alabama. He's from Florida, blah, 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 all these things. I think he's going to be just fine. But this is definitely a test for him. And there's going to be pressure on all of those throws.
I don't think it will be a test. That's the thing. I think there's always some level of test, right? And number one, I think he's unfazed by a lot of this. I think he's kind of a weirdo in that way where he's just very dead center locked in, which is a good thing.
Which is what I want to see that again tonight. If we see that again tonight through this, then even more of the buy-in has to be there. That like people have been saying, I don't think he's a rookie anymore. You heard national people, other coaches, GMs talk about he's not a rookie. He is not a rookie.
They're playing him like a rookie, though. They are playing him as if he's a rookie. They're even going back a couple weeks, and they haven't yet taken a chance where they put the ball in his hands and say, okay, it's 4th and 1, we need it, go ahead and get it. Now they haven't needed to.
They haven't needed to, yeah.
But also, just going back to all the way back to the Tampa game and the Dallas game, they didn't really want to. I think they want to put it on themselves as coaches instead of putting it on the rookie quarterback, which is fine. You have to manage him somewhat. And I don't think that will change just because, the weather's bad or whatever it is. The difference between this and, say, a blizzard, they're both tough to play in, obviously, but there's a little bit more with the wind. The wind is really what's going to carry, kind of how this game plays out. I don't think they're going to have an opportunity to throw the ball 25 times. I don't see that. So they're going to have to use Bourne, maybe even N'Keal Harry gets a touch, and end arounds, and it's going to be probably a heavy dose of Myers over the middle.
This is the Jonnu Smith game.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, hopefully not in blocking because he was not great last week. But
I think another little small area where the wind could affect this game for both sides, special teams wise, people don't really talk about it, but punting. You're going to snap the ball 15 yards back to the punter. That ball's traveling a long way in that crosswind too. Mm-hmm. So wouldn't be surprised if we see some snaps that get blown down or blown up. So all of that sort of operational stuff is going to be worth paying attention to. Like we said, keys for this game for both teams. Both teams have to stop the other team from running the game. If Buffalo chooses to run the ball, the Patriots are going to have to stop that. And just not turning the ball over in unorthodox situations. Snapping balls over guys' heads. If you're Mac Jones,
just in the game itself, ball security and
if you're Mac Jones, realize hey, maybe I can't squeeze this in here because of the wind. It's going to take something off the ball. So no risky throws. Turnovers are going to be huge tonight. I have just this weird feeling about a game like tonight. I think the Patriots, even though Buffalo has more to gain or more to lose and really needs to come out and make a statement, they're at home in this weather. I just feel like this Patriots team right now is just kind of, as you said, unfazed by all of it. And I think they find a way to get the win here tonight. I think it's ugly. I think it's going to be a game played in the teens. If we get into the 20s tonight, I will be stunned.
Yeah.
But it'll be impressive if the Patriots can pull it out. They would be the number 1 seed. Why? Because the Baltimore Ravens last night decided to go for 2 instead of Justin Tucker kicking an extra point. A guy who's lights out. They opted, instead of overtime, we want to go for the win. Lamar Jackson tad off the mark on a little throw to Mark Andrews. He bobbles it. That effectively ends the game. Even though Justin Tucker made one of the more insane onside kick attempts I've ever seen. The fake kick and then behind the back kick with the left foot, that was perfect. So that you don't recover it, so that gets lost. But crazy. Yeah. Do you agree with Baltimore's decision to go for 2?
No.
No.
Idiots. Take the point and go to overtime. You probably win in overtime. I mean, well, I guess I can't say probably. They're kind of going the other way now. They're kind of whirlwinding. But I mean, look, the 2-point conversion, the play was there. Lamar just missed it. I mean, he was wide open. He had 2 steps and he was in the end zone. So they would have won the game off that. But he missed the throw. And you have a pretty much sure thing in Justin Tucker. I mean, all kickers kind of suck this year, but still, I would take the point and go to overtime.
You got that guy. I agree. I mean, I understand the logic. They thought, hey, we just lost our number 1 corner. Our defense has kind of been gassed. We're getting shredded. I'd rather win or lose this game right here. And we have confidence that the calculus was this 2-point conversion versus getting a stop in overtime. The way I look at it, though, I'd rather keep playing. If I don't want to have to decide the game on one play if I don't have to. Kick the extra point, go to overtime.
That's why I say, okay.
Anything can happen. Big Ben just had a great drive, but for most of the game, that offense was kind of listless, and who knows? But who knows what could happen? They fumble a kick, they fumble a ball. Somebody, tips a pass, and you get an interception. I mean, there's a million more things that can happen when you decide to go for 2 there when you don't have to. Which is something these teams are doing more and more and more now, which I just... Hey, again...
I don't know about these teams. See, this is why I said, though. This is why I would say, you know what? I'm happy they lost because I feel like this is a Harbaugh tool bag move where he's just oh, watch what I do here. We're going to win the game. And then you lose it like an idiot. So, I feel like, you know what? Good, you lost.
Well...
Suck it.
Maybe not at the end, but there's plenty of these teams, whether it's going for it on 4th down or it's going for 2 early in games... we see more and more of that now, and I think you have to take points when they're available. I mean, there's teams just they haven't scored yet, and it's the second quarter, and they're nah, we're not going to kick the field goal. We got to go for it. It's get on the board.
Yeah.
And then when you, as Colin says, Ravens are idiots, and don't be afraid of overtime. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't know if. It's one or the other. It's either too much of the analytics people, well, the percentages say da. It's either too much of that, or it's the other way. It's too much of gut feeling you're playing Madden, I just keep going for 2.
I just think this is such a hardo move. Didn't Vrabel do this? Do I have that right?
Vrabel did this a couple of years ago. I think versus the Chargers.
Yeah, these guys are just oh, pump my chest out, let's get 2 and win the game. Maybe that was a little bit different with Vrabel and the Titans, but still, I could understand, okay, there's 6 minutes to go. You get a stop, you get the ball back. You want to get the lead here. Maybe. But even then, I'm still taking the point to tie the game. I just, I don't understand.
I look at it, you do that in games where it's we've been down all game. It's been a slog, and we finally got it. We got to score. You know what? Nothing's gone right for us today. Let's go for it. Let's do it. We got a chance to get a win and walk out of here right now. Let's do it. The Chargers did that a couple years ago against the Chiefs. A team which, you're justified. Hey, you know what? We were down 20 points. We came back on the Chiefs. Do we want to go to overtime with Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah.
No. This is for a chance for us to get into the playoffs. Let's go for 2. Come on, baby. Let's go. That, I get. That game last night, you got Lamar Jackson. Okay, go to overtime. We've heard all week how Ben Roethlisberger is done. Now, he had a good 4th quarter. But, Again, the longer you play out the game, he could throw you one. I didn't think he was necessarily special yesterday or unstoppable. Like, get to overtime and, like, believe in your guys. I don't know. But, hey, like, from a New England perspective, you'll take it.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. There are a whole bunch of other talk about letdown games. I mean, the Bengals, again, a week after beating the Steelers, now they go and they kind of get smoked by the Chargers. The Cardinals, now top team in the NFC. Seahawks, even though their season's like done, I don't think mathematically, I think they're still technically alive because there's so many teams in the middle of the NFC, but odds are their season's done. They get a win yesterday over the Niners. Just a weird. I just feel like there's no.
The Lions won.
I was gonna wait to bring that up. Did you hear Jared Goff after the game?
No.
I mean, he basically was like, it's good to get a win. We've needed it. We needed this one. He basically, like, in as many words, was saying, like, they still suck, but they, like, found a way to get like, he couldn't even say they played well. He was like, we didn't even play our best ball, but, he didn't want to say, like, that's the mark of a good team when you don't play your best ball. He struggled to say, like, that, listen, like, we suck and this is our first win in week 13. And
if nothing else, though, he's honest, right? Is he wrong?
He is not wrong. It was just funny to watch, watch that happen. Just also for him, I mean, you go from, like, playing in the Super Bowl and it's like, is this the greatest show on turf part 2? And now you're, like, commanding the tank squad in Detroit.
Led by Dan Campbell.
Did he cry after the game? I didn't see any Dan Campbell post game.
No, but I actually did think he did something cool. I forget exactly what it was, but he like, I don't know. I think he, said something about the game ball to, like, the local high school, maybe. I'm not sure on the full story, but something better than just tears.
Dan Campbell's definitely a guy who would go for 2. If given the chance.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, he has nothing to lose.
That's true. What is there to lose? Nothing to lose.
What more to lose than 10 games? I mean, I don't know. You could lose 15.
Everything to gain. So anyway, before we get to picks, it's going to be a quick show here tonight. Wanted to hit on a couple of other topics. The Olympics, Winter Olympiad, coming up in 2022. Today, as was expected, this has been percolating for a while, but the United States officially making a declaration that they will be making a diplomatic boycott of the games. So no heads of state. The athletes have their full support. They didn't want to punish the athletes and not send them to the games. I think we did that in the 80s, and it didn't work. I mean, it didn't accomplish anything. So wanted to make a statement about what's going on in China and the human rights violations and standing up to that in some way or another by, listen, we're not going to send our political delegations to the games. And there are other countries that are jumping in on this too. I really just don't know what it does. It's a nice gesture, but it's not going to influence China. It's not going to influence the IOC. There was a push to try and get these games, for the past year and a half to get these games removed from China, which obviously was unsuccessful because, as we know, there's just a lot of money involved, a lot of logistics, and nobody had the wrecking ball big enough to try and do anything about it. So my question to you, Christian, is this the right thing to do? And will or won't it have any effect? I don't think it will. And then what can you do, if anything, to do something better than just saying, well, we're not sending our delegates, if you disagree with what's happening in China?
Yeah, I don't even know where to begin on this one. I don't really know how to answer it, to be honest. I don't know if there is a good answer. Yeah, I defer to you.
Yeah, it's kind of Pandora's box. I mean, I think the only way, I mean, there's two things. It's like, do you care more about, like, well, China should have the Olympics because of the things they're doing, which has been labeled, genocide, or how about instead of just saying, well, take the Olympics away from them, like, do something about what's happening there, like, forget the Olympics.
I mean, that would be good, right? I don't think that'll happen, but that would be a good place to start.
I don't know what a diplomatic boycott does. I mean, what message does it send? China's going to be upset that Jill Biden isn't there, or Jill or Joe. I mean, I don't know what it necessarily accomplishes.
It doesn't solve much.
It looks good. It sounds good. It looks good. That's kind of where I feel like that's all it really accomplishes. It's a little bit of PR.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think it's a wrong move.
No.
But it doesn't really solve much. I mean, it's like one of those things where, I think it's the right thing to do, but also, like, isn't there another way that you could do it? Like you mentioned, like, is there a better way you could do this to kind of do both things? And I don't know what the right answer is there.
Yeah. I wanted to pull up one thing, but I have lost it. I mean, the only way any of it works, anything changes, is you'd have to get a whole slew of major countries on board with saying, we're boycotting the Olympics and not sending athletes and trying to make it look really bad on the IOC, and that gets more of the public outcry. That gets more of the attention. I mean, like what Ennis Freedom.
Exactly, yeah. Ennis Freedom Cantor. Or Ennis Cantor Freedom.
Ennis Cantor Freedom. EKF is trying to do. Maybe then. Pete and Gansett says, better to send some nobody official than nobody. More insulting. That's true.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Who are you? I'm Andrew Pezzelli. I'm the assistant water department manager for some. Send some municipal water guy.
Waste management.
Yeah. I'm the wastewater treatment
or the waste plant
supervisor.
I don't want to knock waste management. Waste management is good.
Yeah.
They take care of everything.
That's true. I don't know. I mean, it's the same thing the NBA is going through with their whole. Everything with Ennis Freedom, and all this is their stance is, listen, we want to keep trying to be in the Chinese market because we think that by working with them we can share ideas and somehow have some sort of soft influence on their culture and these things. Keeping lines of communication open better than shutting everything down. So I don't know. There's no answer. There's no right or wrong answer here. It's just a big thing that happened today in sports, and we're gonna have to keep an eye on how things will there be demonstrations at the Olympics? I mean, I don't know. That's gonna be something worth watching, and if anybody else in the international community does anything similar to this or more extreme. So. Christian, you wanted to hit on some UFC stuff.
I did. I want to run back to the Dan Campbell thing. So Nick in the comments actually clarified that. So it was dedicated to the victims of the Oxford shooting.
Oh,
That's
wow.
what he did. Yeah. So yeah, no tears, but rightfully so. It could have been, right? I mean, obviously that tragedy. So yeah, I didn't even know the full story there, but good on him. And hey, the Lions get a win, right? Anyway, yeah. So I wanted to hit just briefly. We don't need to do a lot on this. I don't even know who likes the stuff I do, but UFC 269. If you are interested, obviously 269 is a good number, and also the fights are incredible on this card. Gronk's favorite number. Oliveira and Poirier, and Amanda Nunes is on this card as well. So something to note for you UFCers out there.
And that's coming up
this Saturday night.
Saturday.
So if you like
the ring.
Violence and watching people get knocked out, that's the sport for you.
That's right up your alley.
Yep.
Good old fashioned violence.
UFC greater than boxing.
True. Absolutely. All right, Christian. let's
Run it
get
down?
into our picks. I had not tabulated anything from last week, but I don't have to because we were only different on one game, which was tonight's game, the Patriots and the Buffalo Bills. We'll give our picks for that again at the end. But let's run down our picks for next week, Week 14. Fire away.
Are you ready for a freaking game of the week? Vikings. Well, Steelers at Vikings.
Pittsburgh at Minnesota. Yikes. What do you do with this? Steelers win a game I thought they were going to lose, and the Vikings lose a game to the Lions. Ugh, and then you play again on Thursday. I'm going to go with Minnesota, the home team, just because it's my default. I think a Viking beats a Steeler. How about that? We go to our default,
I don't know about that.
You don't think so? A Viking?
You think a Viking's just going to take down a steel mill?
Steel mill? No, the Steelers. It's the guys who work in the steel mill.
No. It's the whole city. It's like the Steel City. The Viking has to ravage the whole city. That's what you're going with.
Hey, plunder and pillage? Come on now. I'm going
right.
Vikings.
I'm going to take Pittsburgh. I don't like either team, but I'll take Pittsburgh. Why not?
All right. Next.
Baltimore at Cleveland.
Yikes. I'm actually going to pick Cleveland because I don't know if Baltimore's going to be able to figure out its secondary issues. And for better or worse, Lamar is still turning the ball over.
Yeah.
And Cleveland's going to need this game desperately. So.
Yeah, I'm going Browns as well. Home team. The Ravens are a mess, I think. Like, I don't know what to make of the Ravens right now.
Yeah, all the injuries.
Yeah.
So.
Going for 2 when you should go for 1. It's a whole mess. Jacksonville at Tennessee.
Eek. Titans. I'm not going to overthink that one, but
Yeah,
watch out for that one though. I mean, that's like that could be a sneaky Jaguars game. They have been playing people tough. In Tennessee, obviously.
Yesterday.
No.
They didn't play much toughness at all. Well, they hung in there for 2 quarters.
Yeah.
But the game is 4, so. Yeah, I'm taking Tennessee as well. Tennessee still needs to win games. I think, overall they're just a tough team. So, Tennessee. Vegas at Kansas City. Chiefs Kingdom.
I totally missed it yesterday. I was doing homework. How did the Vegas Raiders do yesterday?
I'll be honest with you, I don't pay a lot of attention to the Vegas Raiders, but when I do, it was not last week.
That was one of the games I missed. They lost 17-15. So that is kind of, we said this was their, hey, are you going to tailspin or are you going to figure it out? Tailspin has begun. Gets no better. You're in Kansas City. I think Kansas City. If you ask me honestly right now, who's going to be the number 1 seed? KC. I think their defense has been playing better. Yes, they've had some luck along the way with who they've been playing.
You're coming around here.
For better. Hey, after 5 weeks of production, I'm willing to say it's more than just you playing backup quarterbacks. And Patrick Mahomes in the offense is getting in gear. So they're the team most positioned, which would be crazy because if they're the 1 seed once again, I mean Patrick Mahomes not having to go on the road in the playoffs, that's going to be huge for them.
Just to lose to Tom Brady again. Wow, what a surprise.
I don't know if Tommy's going to get there. We'll get into that on another day. But anyway, KC
as well. New Orleans at the Jets. Oh boy.
You go first, Christian.
Is this the week I do it?
No,
Is this the week I do it?
No, it's not.
I'm going to take the Saints. Yeah, I can't do it.
You had me there for a minute. I'm going to take the Jets. New Orleans, no answers.
Color me shocked. Oh, my God.
Is Jameis Winston coming back? Is he going to play quarterback? No.
I don't know.
So, is Drew Brees coming out of retirement? No.
You're going... Okay, I'm not even going to get into this right now. We don't have time, but the Jets are not, they're not exactly upper echelon.
Neither are the Saints.
No, but they have a better defense, I think.
And they don't even have a guy who can function as a quarterback, an actual quarterback. So
hey, he did a nice hurdle.
Next.
Dallas at Washington.
Wow. Cowboys need this, but oof, I can't make up my mind. A cowboy versus a team.
I like the team in that one, but in this one, I like the Cowboy.
Just a group of individuals. Yeah, I mean, talent makes me pick Dallas. But Washington has more than
They play
shown they
tough.
can hang in there. So
Yeah, they play tough. Dallas is kind of beat up. I still like Dallas though.
all right, next.
Atlanta at Carolina. Yikes in this one. Jeez.
Gosh, a Panther versus a Falcon. Do you believe in air supremacy or ground supremacy, Christian?
I'm going with the aerial attack here. I'm going Falcons. Yeah.
I will as well. Quarterback advantage. So
Normally I'd pick the Panthers, but like a Panther to beat a Falcon, but
he's just gonna get him once. He's gonna swipe him out of the air.
You know, he's got to take the Panthers' eye out, and that's it. And the Panthers already lost one eye. No Christian McCaffrey. They're a mess. So Seattle at Houston. Oh my God, these games are rough.
A Seahawk versus a Texan. God, these are some bad games. Seattle. Houston's bad. Seattle's been bad too. I mean, Russ was able to do some things yesterday. I think they're gonna play for pride. I do. So if they're gonna go out there and actually try, I still gotta lean Seattle. But
Yeah.
don't like it. Don't like it one bit.
I don't like it at all, but I'm going Seattle as well. Aerial attack. Let's go. Detroit Lions at the Denver Broncos. These are rough this week. Oh my God.
A lion versus a horse. Gosh.
I like the horse.
In Denver, yeah, I gotta take Denver. Detroit, back-to-back wins, almost unthinkable.
No way. In Denver?
In Denver, I don't think I can. So
this is a rough week. The Giants at Chargers. I'm gonna go Chargers. I'm not even gonna get into it.
The Giants have actually had the third best point differential since week 7. Their defense has come along, and I think the Chargers. Man.
What's your obsession with New York? That's what I want to know.
There's no obsession with New York. I just like chaos.
Well, you got it. You don't even have to pick the right team. You got it, and no matter what, you're winning all year.
True. You know what though? In LA, yeah, I'm gonna go LA.
You're supposed to go to the Giants. What are you doing? San Francisco at Cincy.
Man,
I have to believe Cincy bounces back again, so I'm gonna pick them.
I'm gonna do the same, but don't feel good. Don't feel good about that one. These are a whole lot of weird, crazy games. I mean, a lot on the line too. I mean, this is like I talked about for the Bills tonight. You know, the difference between like winning your division and maybe being out of the playoffs, or being in a tight spot. Cincy, now, I mean, this is a big game for them to try and keep pace. And San Francisco's in that same spot. I mean, they should have won against Seattle. You know, you thought they would win that coming in the way they'd been playing. So two really, really desperate teams, and you know that could kind of be, even though it's a non-conference game, could be make or break for both teams, just based off of record. So
Bengals, Buffalo at Tampa.
Tampa Bay. Tom Brady does not lose to the Buffalo Bills.
Especially in Tampa, I can't pick against it. Yeah. Chicago at Green Bay.
And Aaron Rodgers does not lose to the Chicago Bears. So Green
Bay. I don't even need to answer this. It's Green Bay.
Both Bays all the way.
And then probably the matchup of the week. I think this is probably the best game of the week by far. Los Angeles at Arizona.
The rematch.
Rams, that is. Rams, yeah.
Yeah. Whew. Murray's back. That defense is for real. Hopkins is back. I'm going Arizona. I think Matt Stafford has slowly but surely faded here as the year has gone on.
Yeah, I don't love the Rams lately. So And Arizona, I feel like, has probably been the most consistent team all year. 10-2. I mean, that's the best record in the league, so that kind of goes without saying. But Arizona.
Same.
Too much logic here. That's why we're not picking the right team. Is we're not using, you just got to look and basically throw a team at a wall, and that's who you pick. I think 1 week I should just pick based on who would win the matchup, Falcon, Eagle, and just see how far I get with that.
Just see how you do on that 1 week.
Because I feel like this year it might go pretty well.
It might. Is that all our games? That it?
That is it. And then you got Indianapolis, Miami, New England, and Philly on a bye, so they're not playing. But if they did, who would win? Royal Rumble between those 4 teams: a Dolphin, a Colt, an Eagle, or a Patriot.
I mean, in what? This is like Yu-Gi-Oh. What card are we putting down here to set the? What environment are we playing? Are we playing like?
Let's put them in
is
the
this,
Dallas.
Is this a water level? Is this a desert?
Let's
Where
put them
we?
in Hard Rock Stadium in Miami in an octagon.
Are we in the Shadow Realm?
I mean, I don't think. Well,
hey, that's why I'm gonna miss my man Kyle Duggar tonight. He's not gonna be putting people in the Shadow Realm.
I know. Yeah.
So
loss.
last quick notes. Actually, one thing before we give our last notes on tonight's Patriots game. I know we kind of touched on this last week, but more has come out about this. The whole Antonio Brown thing.
Oh yeah.
The talk about shake my head. If there was anybody who's gonna get caught with the fake vaccine card.
Oh yeah, no, it'd be Antonio.
It was gonna be Antonio Brown. Which I think is crazy because, how diligent were the Bucs, clearly, because they were the first ones to tout 100% vaccination. Yes. Clearly, that was not the case. And do you think the NFL says it's reviewing? How deep do you think they want to dig? Do you think Tom Brady has a legit vaccine card?
I don't know. I have no idea because it's always like, I feel like it's always something with, TB12 and Alex Guerrero. There's always just, I don't know. But I believe he is because I don't think he would jeopardize.
He wouldn't put himself in that position.
Yeah, but I still there's like that 0.1% where I'm just like, he might not be. Antonio Brown, yeah. I mean, I saw he was on a podcast too, and he said well, it used to be, innocent until proven guilty. Now it's guilty until proven guilty or something like that. Like where he's just basically saying, and then a day later, it comes out that he faked it. So what are you doing, dude?
What's crazy? It's because he's cheap. He's a millionaire who's cheap.
Yeah.
He just had to pay a chef. What he owed him? Nothing. It's not like he was being extorted. It was like,
True.
oh, dude,
True. Hey, he has a pass to do.
You got to pay me, and he didn't.
Yeah. That sounds classic Antonio Brown.
Who's worse, though? Antonio Brown or Aaron Rodgers? Which is worse?
Well, one got suspended and one didn't. We can get into that later in the week or next week because I actually want to hear your thoughts on that. But I feel like Aaron Rodgers should have gotten something. I know it's different, and a lot of people are saying that. I think it is different. But the way Aaron Rodgers went about it, I just feel like he should maybe a game. I don't know. It just seems weird that you suspend these guys 3 and he just
I think they're equally bad. We can get into the reasons why. I don't think he should have gotten 3 games, but Aaron Rodgers should have definitely been suspended. And we can unpack that whole nugget next week. Final thought, prediction for tonight's Patriots game, Christian. Go. Final score.
Buffalo Bills win this game because they have to. You don't want the dark side to come back and Darth Vader or the Emperor Bill Belichick to kind of rule this AFC again, AFC East. So the Bills win, I think. And score, I'm just going to go 8-9. Let's have some fun. I'm just going to do it. I said this before we even got on. I'm going to stick with it, 8-9.
Yes. I think the Patriots win. I think they are one of the best teams at preparation. Belichick prepares a team better than any other team. They had 30-mile-an-hour wind and rain and snow, flurries here a couple days ago, and they were out practicing in it.
Yeah, did you actually see what they did? They actually put them in a fan.
Yeah.
And they were playing in a fan to prepare them.
Yeah. So I think they're going to be ready to go. I just think they've got the it factor. There is a loss coming. I think it's probably against Indy in Indy. Yeah. I think tonight though, in these conditions, I think it favors the Patriots, and it favors where, like you said, it's going to come down to coaching at times. Advantage Patriots. So it's going to be ugly. I'm going to say 13-8 is the final score.
I would feel better in normal weather.
I actually would feel worse because I think Josh Allen then would have the full playbook. So
exactly. So he has more chance to throw up on himself, and now he doesn't.
Well, guess what? We will get to see, because that game is starting in just a few moments. So hop over and enjoy that one, folks. We'll be back next Monday to break down that game as well as Week 14 of the NFL. So thank you for joining us here in the live stream. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll talk to you next week.
See you later.